Morning, morning. Hit that like button. Let's get the stream started. Thanks for the like. Who else is watching? Comment down below. We've got 3 people and no comments yet. Go ahead, drop a comment. Who's watching? Just cleaning out our feeders here at the farm before feeding the chickens. Like and subscribe if you guys are new. $16 people, that's awesome. Subscribe if you guys are new. My name is Levi Russell. I'm a farmer here in Aklan, Philippines. And I'm from Pennsylvania, born and raised, but a Florida resident now. Living in the Philippines with my family. Wow, 22 people. Good morning. How y'all doing? My name is Levi. These are my chickens. Or at least half of them. The other half are my father's. But yeah, we're just getting ready to feed the morning feed to them. But first we're going through and cleaning out their feeders. Like and subscribe, guys. Where are y'all watching from? Comment down below. Sure, we got people from all over the planet. We got Stone Cold in here from Australia. Hey, Stone Cold, how you doing this morning? Hope all is well. Hey, Willie Garner, what's up? Double tap the screen to subscribe. Yeah, thanks, Stone Cold. It's not letting me turn my camera around. Show you guys what I'm doing. I guess we'll just go frontward facing for now. Just cleaning up chicken feed out of the feeders. That was interesting. YouTube threw me a bone real quick there. Typically, it takes a couple minutes. There we go. Now it's letting me turn it around. Getting a call from my dad. I'll be right back, guys. Hey, David. Where are you watching? David Herrera. Hit that double tap, David. Give us a like. Hey, we got 10 people in again. Awesome. All right, we're gonna run and grab a tool for the farm here. My brother borrowed it, and need to go get it for some work here. My name's Levi Russell. I'm here in Future-Farmers-of-Aklan, Philippines, doing hydroponic greenhouse and chickens. Chickens are fed. They're gonna eat while I go and run an errand for my dad. Like and subscribe, guys. Where y'all watching from? Comment down below. 10 people. This is an extraordinary live so far this morning. Thank you to everyone who tuned in, and thank you to YouTube for sending them my way. But yeah, we're farming here in the middle of a rice field in Future-Farmers-of-Aklan, Philippines, right by Boracay. You guys are on my chest mount, so it's an interesting perspective, to say the least. I got my hands free to drive, feed, do whatever needs done on the farm. But yeah, we're gonna go retrieve some tools my brother borrowed from the farm for his chicken operation, and we'll peek in, see how his birds are doing. He said he's going through a molt, which means the birds aren't laying eggs like they should. I know our birds haven't been laying eggs like they should for a couple weeks now. But like and subscribe. Good morning, Jim. How are you doing? Glad to see you in here this morning. We're getting all the regulars in. Hopefully we can get the people that are going to stay through and get about 10 people in the building. You guys can comment. What'd you get into today, Jim? David, where are you watching from? David Herrera. Excuse me, doggies. Yeah, we're here in Carla Village, where the indigenous people of the Philippines, a large majority of them, live. As my wife is going to a Bible college here that our family started, Great Commission Bible Institute. They're doing their final exams today, and then they got next Friday or Saturday they graduate. I apologize, I'm sure you guys are hearing a fair amount of wind. I have not used my microphones this morning. Maybe we'll hook those up once we get back here to my brother's barn. Yeah, this is the barn that we initially bought all the chickens from last September, or maybe it was earlier than September. But yes, we bought all these chickens from this farm that was failing, unable to feed their chickens because of loss of profits. So now we're just now getting to the break-even point after feeding them about 2 months to get through a molt that they were going through. We used to have to come back here every day, but now we built our own farm on my wife's parents' land. All right. It was a real pain in the butt to carry big sacks down this hillside back when we first started. It's kind of a steep climb, as you can see. It's up there a ways in just a short distance. Maybe the volcanic and seismic affected the chickens. I know you're near Bihol, some but animals sometimes react to that. Yeah, that very well might be true. I haven't thought about that, Jim. I'm shocked that the last few videos I have reviewed are low views. On the shorts, you mean, or the live streams? Yeah, the live streams have not been performing as of recent, but they're doing really good this morning, so that's a real blessing. How's the pain, Stone Cold? Are you doing all right? No, you said you had to start taking medicine for your pain, and I hope it's making a difference. I'm not sure I've got the key for this place. In fact, I don't. Let me see if the back door is locked. I don't see the chop. There it is. The chop sauce in there. But yeah, definitely my long form videos and my short form videos have all not been performing as they should. But what are you two doing out? You should be inside a cage. Alright. Got the extension. Got the chop saw. Where's the grinder? The grinder ought to be here. Maybe it's out at his house. We're gonna bring the chop saw, I guess, by itself. Oh. Yeah, I do not see the grinder anywhere here. Doesn't mean that there isn't one here, I just don't see it. Pain is okay. I'm still getting bad anxiety trying to pray through it. Yeah, yeah, Stone Cold. That's about all we can do is release our troubles to God and allow Him to do what He can with them. It doesn't go away overnight most of the time, but just keep at it. Stay close to the Lord. Read the scriptures. Trying to find some knowledge there about troubles. Talk about anxiety. The book of Psalms is full of it. I don't even know David, but King David seemed like for a long time there he had no friends. Everyone was his enemy and everyone was out to get him. I know that's not necessarily your predicament, having that you've got all the friends here, at least on my stream. We really appreciate you. Hey, like and subscribe, guys. 27 people. Let me turn my camera on so you guys can see who's the streamer. Maybe 33 people. Holy cow. Hey guys, my name is Levi Russell and I'm here in the Philippines. I'm a Florida resident, born and raised in Pennsylvania, and this is life through my eyes as a agricultural manager here in the Philippines. I'm also a missionary for, I guess you'd call us Baptists. It's not exactly what we are, but that's about the easiest way to explain it. Everybody knows what who a Baptist is, I think. But yeah, we're just getting farm work done. We got the hydroponic greenhouse expansion that we're gonna hopefully get ready for more hydroponic lettuce here within the next couple days. Yeah, this is the Philippines. Beautiful, affordable, and hot. We've been through quite the dry season. We did get a little bit of rain in the last couple of days, so we've been blessed for that. Hey, we got 8 people in and only 4 likes. Can y'all do me a real favor and hit that like button so we can get more people into the stream? We had 33 people there, it said. For me, I don't know if that was a real number or not, but that was awesome. We don't have an opportunity to reach out to 33 new people very often. So. Yeah, this is our form of transportation to get around. We're kind of in the Blue Kid mountain region, not a little ways away from the main road right now. But our farm is a little bit closer to the main road, but we for sure still are about a mile off the main road. It's nice to have these well-paved roads. They're pretty much new. They weren't here when I was here 12 years ago, so I'm not sure there's much maintenance that goes into them, but they're at least pretty new-like. Yeah, we're back down to the original 4. Thank you guys for sticking in here through the ups and downs of the views. I can't believe we probably had 100 people in here already, and we've only been streaming for, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes. My phone says we've been streaming for 155 hours, which is just amazing that it is that confused. But maybe it's talking about all the streams we've ever done on YouTube, and it says 155 hours. But honestly, I'm probably more like 300 hours of live streaming. I wonder if there's a way to find out the analytics of how many hours are on my YouTube channel. I bet you it's probably pretty close to the number of watch hours that I have. Alright, back here to bring the chop saw. I could not find the grinder. My dad said it was back there, but I think it might be at my brother's house. It's a lot easier to carry in and out. He probably just carried that home. Oh. So what did you have for breakfast this morning, Stone Cold? What about you, Jim? What did you have for dinner? We need to get something in the comments, guys. Otherwise, YouTube's not going to feed us to more people, I don't think. Yeah, Stone Cold, your struggle reminds me of my favorite verse, Psalms, Proverbs 3. No, yeah, I think it's Proverbs 3. Trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not on your own understandings. In all of your ways, acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your path. We're walking straight through the rice field now. They got these irrigation walls that we typically walk on, but when we got something heavy in hand or awkward, we like to just make our paths straight. Another good one, Stone Cold, that I have to memory in Psalms is Psalms 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures and leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. His rod and his staff comfort me. He anoints my head with oil. My cup overflows. He prepares a table in front of my enemy. Yeah, I got it all wrong. I'm sorry, guys. I thought I had that memorized. Just can't get it in order, I guess. Stone Cold Yes prayer is first in natural pain. I'm not sure where he wants this. Let's see if we can't find out where our fabricator is. Doesn't appear that he's within eyesight. I'm just gonna set it here in the greenhouse. under the shade. Get out of here, chicken. We opened up the greenhouse to put new nets up because the old nets from a year ago are already falling apart. But then that means free range for all the chickens to eat. Natural 4-count breathing. Many names for it. I used it in combat. Works from anxiety, pain, etc. Google it, or I can describe it here. My spiritual life past few years has been 2 out of 10. Yeah, I understand that, Stone Cold. I was there. I mean, I'm a little bit younger than you, but I was there with the negative spiritual life or the not close to the Lord just a couple years ago. Now we're here on the mission field. Yeah, and it can be very overwhelming. Not knowing what to do in moments of anxiety. Got a lot more birds to feed, but I think we're going to start with the water. Because these chicks, I don't think have had any water since yesterday morning. And Mom inside the cage has got a habit of scratching for feed. Which means this water gets filled with dirt. But yeah, you can always make a rebound. Life is full of inclines and declines. Let's make this an incline for you. If you're willing to put in the work, Stone Cold, I'm sure God's willing to meet you on your way to Him. He meets you where you're at, but it does take effort to have a relationship with God. What do you guys think? You think there's another goat in the well? That was wild. Did you see that, Stone Cold? A goat in our well the other day on the live stream. I think Jim missed it as well. Somehow it stepped on the lid and fell in. Someone said for sure that someone threw the goat in there. But that seems like a heinous assumption. I know it's not much of a well cover. What can you expect? Hopefully Mama Hen here will get the chicks to drink. Wow, I didn't see that. Yeah. You ought to check it out. It wasn't yesterday, but the day before. The afternoon stream. I was getting ready to get water for the chickens. Then out of nowhere, I heard a goat in the well. There she goes. She found the water. Yeah, get those chicks some water. They ain't gonna grow without some water. They're not gonna live either. 26 people, like and subscribe, guys. My name's Levi, and I'm from Florida, but I'm here in the Philippines. These are some of the birds that we hybridized last Christmas. Some of these hatched last Christmas, some of them last New Year. And there are hybrids between DeKalbs and Australorps. We have a bunch of these DeKalb layer hens that we are have for laying eggs, but they're only going to be laying eggs for a couple more months, so we decided that we would try to fertilize their eggs, get a couple of new layers out of them to replace the ones that will be not laying eggs. We got to get some feed for those birds now. But yeah, thank you for joining. We got 9 people in. Can someone hit the like button? We've been stagnant here at 4 likes. At least that's what it reads on my end. It's not always what it is, but double tap the screen for a like, guys. We'll get some feed for my chickens. Hey, Irish. Welcome. Really works, teaching several times a week. I had a Caesar salad for dinner. Nice, Jim. I haven't had a Caesar salad in 2 years since I've been in the Philippines. And a softball-sized cantaloupe. Yeah, I've often wondered why some of those cantaloupes don't grow out to be full size. We get a bunch of softball-sized ones here as well. So do you just put the Caesar dressing on your salad, or do you doctor it up with a lot of different things? What about you, Irish? What did you have for dinner? Probably just getting ready to eat it, or I don't know. You're in Arizona, so that means you're a little bit behind the gym over there on the East Coast. All right, let's grab some feed for those birds outside. This is the leftovers from the layer hen operation. We like to put them to use with those younger birds. So we go ahead and dump it all in here. Probably not going to feed it all to them because it's a pile of feed for just 20 birds. And I think we're going to toss them outside for this guy and all of his hens because he needs to get out of here. Hopefully, we can coax those hens out with the rooster. Nah, he don't look like he wants to come on out. Come on, rooster, get out of there and bring your hens out too. As soon as he comes out and clucks on the food, all the other birds will come out. But come on, come out here. Come out here. Let's see if I can spook him out. What? No. I don't know. Nope. No such luck. I'll just leave the door open. Maybe they'll come out on their own. Hey, Noah's in. What's up? Get some new Crocs. These are my church Crocs. I don't know why I wore them into the farm this morning. But yeah, they are new. They match my khakis, so I'm wearing them to church. I'm just feeding chickens, Noah. I cheated on the salad. It was one of those bag salads. All right. Some people don't like those anchovies in the Caesar salad dressing. I actually don't seem to like it. I have to go now. Have a wonderful day. All right, Irish. Thanks for joining us for a small time. There's definitely not 20 birds in there. I'm not sure where they all went. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 in there. He still didn't come out for the feed. I got one more trick up my sleeve trying to get that rooster out. Church Crocs. Yeah, we don't do dress shoes here. I don't do shoes at all. My feet get too dang sweaty. Trying to open up this door. Nope. No such luck. I love it. My church is informal as well. Well, that's the wildest thing is I go to a Baptist church. You wouldn't find too many people in the Baptist church. Most places in the world, they will allow that. But, what can I say? I don't lead by example. But yeah, in Florida, there's lots of informal churches. At least the ones I've been to in Florida. Maybe he did come out. I don't see him inside anymore. Yeah, I don't know where that rooster went. When's the last time you wore socks? I think I might have wore socks with Crocs one day. But in general, socks and Crocs is not a very good style choice, so I typically don't. But I think I might have. But yeah, I haven't worn shoes since our last Ilo trip. That was, I don't know how long ago. Ugh. Got the hens out, getting some grass. Depends on how high the socks are pulled up. I have a pair of Realtree Canvas Crocs. Got on my birthday a long time ago. Typically I use them when I take the dogs out at night. I don't know what it is with these hens that they love eating the grass. I'd let all the birds out, but the problem is these two roosters over here in the corner are hard. They're not quite used to getting picked up like these hens are every day. I think this guy might be a rooster as well. I'm looking at his tail and it just does not look like a hen's tail to me. So I guess maybe I got 3 roosters, maybe 4. I don't know. That could be a hen, but I'm thinking I can see some spurs on his feet starting. My wife seems to think that some of these hens are ready to lay soon. I don't know about all that. They're definitely good size. Yeah. That looks like a spur to me, guys. I wear minimalist shoes or boots. Like wearing slippers. Maybe I've got a lot more roosters in there than I initially thought. Come here, girl. Ugh. This sounds like a male too. Did I get all males? We'll sure find out here in about a month or 2 when they start laying eggs, which ones are males. If we got a lot of males, I guess we'll just get rid of them all. I was thinking they were all hens for the most part. Almost like being barefoot, but with decent protection. Do you think you'll sell some roosters off? Yeah, we're not gonna I'm not going to keep every rooster if there's more than 2 in there. The roosters go for about 800 to 1,000 pesos. So it's a pretty reasonable payday, although they have been eating almost a kilo per week. Kilo about every 9 or 8 days. So that's not any good as far as expenses to profit range. But yeah, we're not going to keep a pile of roosters around. But they're nice for eating if you can get them to the right size. But yeah, we're all fed up. They're almost all done eating their breakfast. And there's still feed left for them, so that's good. These ones seem to be maybe a little bit cold. I can't imagine why. There's a good bit of a breeze going today, but they're all huddled up like they're maybe a little cold. All right. Let's see if Dad knows where all the laborers went. Did you give them a mission to go get something?
They took all those pipes over the river to wash them.
Okay.
Because there's no sense gluing, or they need cleaned up.
Mm-hmm. So you think this is all death by hot water?
It's likely. It's probably a combination of things, but I don't know. What do the roots look like, the ones that are good? I think
There's a couple white roots on this one, but mostly brown.
Yeah. So in general.
Yeah, this one here has got a couple
Yeah.
brown roots, but a lot of white.
Probably more root rot than it's a combination, but the one causing the other one and back and forth. But and then the heat that we gave it, like it got stressed 6 different directions.
Yeah.
And I think the best thing would be the ones that are gone, let's get them out of here. The ones that are close enough to marketing, as soon as we've got a place to go with them, get them out of here. Yeah. And then
just hit the reset.
If you want to, like, if there's some in that far bed that look like they're the ones in the far bed that look good, either market the smaller. Let's get some clusters underneath this middle here. Take that bed off on the outside, just because there's no sense keeping that water up, running it around through empty pipes, and it'll keep and the other thing, and we aren't going to have, or there's enough other things going on, but in general, we should clean that row of pipes over there.
Yeah.
Before we restock it. I'm going to, and I already thought this morning, but haven't done anything about it, because I've got 4 guys working on building another table. Like, I need to start using 2 more trays of seeds.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah, all plants just grow in water. I mean, there's soil in around where the water is to soak up the water, but sunlight and water, that's how plants grow. So you just making it, I guess you could call it soil-less, but there is a little bit of something there for them to, roots to grow and soak up, but yeah. They are just growing in water. That's hydroponics. My FOB in Afghanistan got attacked. I was showering. We spent running around in flip-flops. Dang. That's quite the have OCD about unprotected footwear ever since. Yeah, that's quite the story, Jim. FOB forward operating base. So what year was that when you were in Afghanistan, Jim? But yeah, I took the last batch to the worm bed. I think that's where we'll take this once we get it all out. At least get the soil somewhere where we can reuse it. What's the space look doing? It's doing pretty good, yeah, considering the heat. Although this stem here don't look that great. I think we're going to cut the tops off and try to propagate the tops. Although they're not very big tops. Yeah, I'd say that one is a non-saleable one. Although the top there is pretty reasonable. I'm not going to be able to sell that for the same price as these nicer ones.
Are you going to be around here this morning longer?
Not crazy long because I got to get the house ready for Matt and Mark. Right?
Are they coming to your house?
I don't know. Unless if Mom wound up biting the bullet and booking it.
I think that she ended up, because when John decided he wasn't moving yesterday or whatever, that they're going there, that extra house. They're not, so that, because they've got aircon.
All right.
And she's afraid that Mark is going to die without air conditioning.
All right.
And that was just as of yesterday, whatever, when he finally he went back to visit that house again and decided that it was the same, in reality, it's the same situation he had, just different people. Like, there's no way to keep his dog, whatever, so he's not moving.
All right.
And so,
I said, it's telling me that this is the only profitable thing that he does is dogs, but it also is the only thing that messes with the rest of his life so badly.
Complicated thing, you know. And he thinks he thinks now that the greenhouse has got a lid on it, that this is to be used. I don't know why. And he said himself, I don't know why it was just putting a lid on it, you know, like, I guess it was actually going to happen or something, but seemed like a pipe dream. But anyway, I need to run to D-Lee's is where I'm headed. I need to get things lined up for next week.
All right.
And then some of these that are, not like 3 or 4 of these that are.
You want to take home and eat? Or is that what you're
use at our house and just stick them in the rest.
All right. I'd say we got maybe 30 saleable heads here.
If we just pull those ones out of a little more out of the sun over into this bed, and then we can shut that bed off. And
We'll go ahead and shut it off, and I'll work them over here. If the shutoff works. That's been the biggest problem with everything. I wanted to shut off this bed over here, and it busted. And I was like, well, that's convenient. But it is nice that you can...
Well, yeah. I didn't end up yesterday getting the good I don't know that these plastic shutoffs are good in any way, but I have found some metal ones but they're not available mostly in Nilito. But if these guys get, yeah, I'll get back here. I want those guys to work at putting pipes together. There's glue there, there's whatever.
Afghanistan is a sad situation. It could be sportsman adventure paradise, much like the country. Much of the country is very beautiful. Yeah, 03, I was 4 years old in 03. When do you think Larry's first time in Afghanistan was?
He was right out of the gate. Probably, yeah.
Jim's been retired for 20 years, so
The sticks in my mind, he signed up.
it would have been him
He
going.
signed up and got into basic, and it blew up. Well, he was in basic, and he ended up like right into it. But I could be wrong about the time. And I didn't know him at the time.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't following him. Here. And then, I guess it doesn't.
So you think it was 130 in here the other day? Is that what you said?
Oh, yeah.
When we pulled the plastic, it heated up here quick.
And it was hot for 4 hours,
Yeah.
so enough that it just, for anything, it just added too much stress. And we'll have to salvage what we can. And I think it was the best move in the big picture, but it just looks crappy at the moment. But having that makes up for this.
Sometimes you gotta take a loss to get a victory.
But yeah, that it's just I would be half tempted with having this bed empty. And those, if we get those two going, I wonder if we wouldn't be as smart to just take these pipes out and lay new square pipes down.
Yeah.
Because we've got.
Well, we're gonna have to readjust the beds if we're gonna do that, because I feel like.
Well, yeah, we
these are-
get the but it could make a lot of sense. Theoretically, I thought this was going to be full, and then we'd get there, and then we'd shut this off, whatever. But with this getting as empty,
And then what do you want to do? We just toss in all these broken cups, or do you want to
Yeah,
save them
yeah.
for basil and mint? The cups, not the soil.
Yeah.
The soil, obviously, I'll just put in a
Yeah.
sack or whatever.
If there's cups there worth saving, save them. But I could. Half of them are beyond saving. You decide. But yeah, just go down here and empty that bed. We're still. The ones that are up at the house are still 2 days from transplanting time at least.
Yeah.
You know, like they're the beginning next week to transplant them over.
That'd be something we could maybe get those GCBI kids on just so that they can say they've done it. Because it is a chore to get 250 cupped up. I said it is a chore to get 250 done by yourself. The camera makes it look so much bigger. It looks like it just goes on and on and on.
But yeah, I'm gonna go to Dealey's, get that set up. I'm gonna take these home, and I'm not gonna be back here till the afternoon. But have them work on gluing these pipes, and you can show them once they're glued and set up. The silicone is here to silicone them, and we're gonna just do both right out the gate, and just glue them as best they can, and then silicone them.
All right.
The whole way around all the joints. But I don't think we can just silicone them because
I think that's a save.
they're a peso piece. Decide what makes sense.
All right.
But I don't. You know, we knew we were gambling them when we started.
Yeah.
And the other thing, next time you get to Cataclan, if I don't tell you I did, we need to get 2 cases of cups probably, because we're gonna run through 3 times as many.
Yeah, we got about enough for the trays maybe here, the first tray at least.
Yeah.
But
well, that's what I figured, and that's the kind of thing for right now that we'll just get Jindal to make cups today, and get the stuff here for him to do that.
All right.
But yeah, have them put 3 pipes together. Really, if they, with the chop saw here, they can cut these pipes in half. This is a half a pipe.
Yeah.
But they've got to get it cut right. Just have them, don't have them cut these, because once I show him, he'll understand, but you need to cut it.
So it's the same exact. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to get it so it's, and I forget how the math works. It's not quite the way you think it is. Okay.
All right. Morning, Colonel. Or should I say Captain? Our chickens decimated our lettuce. I'm not sure if you were here last week whenever that happened, but there was nearly 500 heads of lettuce here. Just little stuff. But the chickens found out the styrofoam cups tasted good and young lettuce tastes even better. Just came through and had a little lettuce massacre. Each cup represents 1 peso, the styrofoam. The soil represents maybe half a peso, the seed, 2 pesos, and then the time and nutrients is also got some value. So we're like down 4 to 5 pesos for every single one of these I'm throwing away.
I tell you something else I'm thinking about, because I remember what a bugger it was to do them. But show them when they're gluing these together. If you glue it all and then you go to shove it in, it'll catch, and that's why there's a couple of these that are halfway in or not, and they really need to be the whole way in, or about the whole way. If you push them too hard, they get a crack in them. But it would be fine if they got them started and then put the glue with 2 people, put the glue around and then just slide them in. But we don't want them cracked. If you look around, I cracked 1 out of 10. But we don't want them cracked like this. But we don't want them big spaced because then that makes your spacing stupid going down along.
Yeah.
And I made both mistakes. Just show them that. But I don't
get it started in, then put the glue, then finish it.
Yeah. But I don't want to come back and some of them be like all over the place because it's going to be.
And you didn't put the piece in here and then put the piece in there. You put this on the end of this piece. And then shove.
This one's easy. It's this one that's a problem.
But yeah, so, what I mean is if you just took the union, put the union in first, then glued this one to go into there if it's easier. Or did you have this attached
this is
to
no
here?
problem. I put these in here and then I slid those inside.
Okay.
This is simple. This doesn't give you a problem, but it's this joint that's tight.
Yeah.
And
you don't think it's worth going through and doing a little bit of sanding on each piece quick?
I don't know. I don't
That's
think there's any
step,
way that you're going to get it to glue tight. And I don't know that the sliding is going to be any easier by getting them roughed up.
Yeah.
You know, like, because the problem is there's nothing to push them together like this. And when it's a flat surface in a round pipe, there's not room for it. But because this is flat on the sides, in here on either side is where it'll get, and then the corners are where they leak. So I don't think any sanding is going to help that to fit perfectly. And it just, I don't know that there's a perfect way to do it. I think to glue it so that it stays in and then silicone it is the right thing to do. And
I mean, the best thing to do is if we were going to, is to get a heat gun and just apply a tiny bit of heat to that.
Yeah.
And then you'd have less fracture and more stretching.
Yeah.
But.
And it might, it's 10 degrees hotter now than when I did those. It might be enough that it isn't a problem.
Yeah. You need the solar powered vent fans that are temperature selected. For the heat, you mean? The heat's not gonna necessarily, now that we've got this screen on the bottom here, the heat in here isn't that bad. I've got the shade net up. These guys did an awesome job with the shade net. This was me and my dad's shade net. We didn't have a real good solid way to pull it tight. These guys figured out the perfect way to pull it tight. But we have this designed so that it can roll back and forth, and this one is permanently attached. I mean, we can go through and cut it whenever we need to roll it, but they did a fantastic job. It almost looks like it's just one sheet. Well, the stream is not, I didn't see any large groups of people come in, but that's fine with me. I'm just going to do my work, and you guys can watch and comment whatever you want to. But yeah, Jim, we do need some sort of cooling someday, but I'm not sure. That's not what decimated this lettuce, if that's what you were meaning. There's a cup they never even touched. They just ate the lettuce out of it, looks like. I think that might be the only one that they never touched. And there's another one here. But yeah, we'll reuse this for other gardening projects. I don't know if it makes sense to reuse it for the lettuce or not. I heard the comment of your dad regarding the heat buildup. Oh, yeah. In general, most people that are doing hydroponics here in the Philippines has a commercial setup where there is fans. We get a good breeze here, as you can see. Maybe even here. So there really isn't, and we're thinking about doing solar, like you said. But the biggest problem with solar is, for the most part, at least all the companies that are going to connect to solar, it's going to be about 10 years of savings to make up for the cost of setting up. And my dad's near retirement. He knows how fast 10 years goes by, but at the same time, he's not 100% sure we are going to be doing hydroponics in 10 years. Although this barn will be here in hopefully 40 years. These are really nice materials. I mean, the plastic's probably going to need to be replaced, but these GI pipes are way strong. A lot stronger than any of the other guys' barns in the area. Not sure what happened here. They wound up somehow picking all of the dirt or cocoa peat out of that one. Then we got our failed year to root up lettuce. Although there is a little bit, or mint, there's a little bit of life left in that one. Might need to go stick it in the hydro, see what we can make happen. I don't want to toss this in here. I feel like this should just be cocoa peat inside this bag. So we'll just leave those there and we'll put them somewhere here in the garden. Yeah, these cups aren't nearly badly as damaged in this section. Yeah, chickens have no regard for anything. Completely disregard any attempt from us to make a nice hydroponic setup. Nothing tastes better than a chicken that messed up your hydroponic setup, but I can't quite get in the right mindset to just come through and kill all of my free-range birds. Yeah, this was easily 1,000 or 2,000 pesos worth of mistake. But if it would have worked, it would have been a couple thousand pesos of profit. So it was worth what the gamble was. But all right, I think we're gonna go to the other side and start through there in the back corner, because I got this. The first 3 beds are almost completely full. So did you say you did hydroponics, Colonel? I'm not sure if the Colonel's even in here anymore. There's another cup that doesn't look like they touched. Lesson learned. Yeah. Well, we didn't even have plastic on this greenhouse when these were in here. It was definitely a shot in the dark, long shot. Dang it, that cup's not going to be used for anything. Once they hit the ground, they bust and aren't going to be useful for anything. See, complete blowout. Just garbage. But all these, for the most part, are just garbage. Yeah, my dad said a lot of interesting things this morning that I never would have thought I heard him say. Looks like it's just you and me, Jim. It's you and me, brother. Glad to have you here. There's quite a bit of water left in these. There's water coming out the bottom of the sack. It's amazing how good this cocoa peat can be at retaining water. It's a perfect sponge material. That one didn't even make it in the sack. I'm reading the Psalms and listening, and that's good. Stone Cold. Psalms is some of the easiest and hardest read. I don't know. But I'm glad you're getting into the word. The book of Proverbs is another great one. Doesn't talk a whole lot about anxiety, just about what fools do and what wise people do. But it's a nice one. You can read a chapter a day. Really try to dissect every bit of wisdom in Psalms, Proverbs, and do that throughout the month, and then repeat it again. There was a couple summers that I would have read the book of Proverbs in a month, and then did it the next month and the next month, just trying to retain it all. There was a while there that I was listening to it before going to sleep, and that can be really beneficial if you don't mind listening to something while you sleep. I'm thinking that was, as an observer, I forget, is living off your work. You have to be frugal and spend it on upgrades. I mean, yeah, it is. We've got, all this is possible because of people donating to the mission or whatever. It's not all my funds. It's mostly ministry funds, but it is something that we try to be good stewards of the money we get or whatever, and not spend it in ways that aren't going to be productive. And we're also trying to figure out what's the least expensive way to start hydroponics so that we can repeat that again and again in other places. I think I might have told you this already, Jim. But this whole idea is take someone like me who doesn't know anything about anything. When we started the hydroponics in 24, and teach an idiot or a monkey how to do hydroponics, so that we can get people trained through GCBI and then teach them in hydroponics during the summer, and then by the fall build them a hydroponic setup, go there and help them get started or whatever. But then be able to use the profits from the hydroponics to build a church, cover all the expenses of building a church. There's a guy part of the mission my dad's a part of, that thinks business missions is some of the best missions to do, because then you're not reliant on funding from other churches in the States, but you can actually fund them in country or whatever. Plus it gives work to pastors that can't afford to do full-time work. But theoretically, hydroponics can be a 4-hour investment at the most in a day. When things were running good last year, I was able to put in an hour in the morning, an hour in the evening in hydroponics. Now I put about an hour in the morning, hour in the evening in the chickens as well. So I'm at least, at minimum, have to put in 4 hours of work here on the farm. But I am doing 2 different test mediums of how can we get pastors to become self-sustainable. Because the profits from this farm in the next 2 years should be able to make it so we can repeat this again and again. And then once we get 2 farms, it'll be not 2 years until we can make another one, but just 1. After we get 4, then every 6 months. After we get 6, and you know what I'm saying. It'll be something that can theoretically have exponential growth as we go and preach the gospel to places that have yet to hear it, or ears that have yet to accept. Because it does say that every ear will have heard, but our goal is also to get the ears that have heard it in the past and show them that the hypocrites that they knew doesn't have to represent all Christians. What about the Philippines ministry? Years ago invested in community rice farming. That's self-sustaining now. Really? That's awesome. Where was that at? Mindanao? Where are the Bible students? Are any of the Bible students that want hydroponics to start a church? This year, we do have one guy. Hi, Jude. Oh, sige. Did you already got the lettuce? Sige.
And I will get 2 pieces of lettuce.
Sige.
Do not.
Oh,
1.
sige. Yeah, so there's actually a new church plant in Malindog, another Ati community, and one of their members of the new church or whatever is attending GCBI this year. It's not on Panay, I'll try to remember where. But, so yeah, his name is Bobby. He's 40-some years old, 50-some years old. And he's already pretty well off, but the church has started in Malindog, and right now, the pastor of the local Baptist church here is going there every Sunday to teach. But after GCBI is completed, I think Bobby's going to take that position. And then I've already found the land near them, although he probably has an idea of his family's land where they could build a hydroponic greenhouse. But first, Bobby's got to get interested in hydroponics. I'm not sure if he is. I know that I don't think he's been out here yet. He's a busy guy. He already has some government position, I believe, where he gets an allowance or whatever. But definitely in the next year, we already have quite a few students looking to do it next year that are younger, that are interested in agriculture, and already came by and checked out our hydroponics and was like, wow, this is quite futuristic setup or whatever. So they got excited about it. I don't know if they'll pan out and actually come next year. I hope so. We've had lots of people in the last 4 years get really interested, and then something comes up right before they start, and they're just like, we just can't do this. Typically, it's family that says, you're not going back to school. We need you to make money, kind of thing. And they're like, well, family wants, family gets, kind of thing. That's kind of how Philippine culture is here. They provide for you for your first 20 years, and then most families' opinion is that for your first 20 years after the first 20, that you'll provide for them. And then you'll have your kids after that that will provide for you for 20 years, kind of thing. It's just kind of how the culture's been set in recent history. I don't know if it's always been that way or not. But and then obviously you always got to take care of Lola as well once someone hits 60 or whatever. But yeah, basically 20 to 40 is the hard-working time, and then 40 to 60 is take it easy time. And then a bunch of people are making it to 80, so it's they really have an opportunity to take it easy. But then things get really expensive because of medical bills and things like that. I think I'm going to get another sack and throw all these cups inside. That way the birds don't come over and just munch through all of it. It would be cool to work out a complete package kit with everything needed to start. Yeah, we're trying. My dad was saying about how we're going to replace these with the square pipes, maybe. If that's the case, then this would probably be what we would haul in to get someone started in another place, because they're already all completely set up. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the Lord has in store for our future. We have dreams that we'd like to see hydroponic greenhouse be part of Philippine-wide missions, but maybe that's not what God has in store. So far, we've had so much success. I think that we're doing what the Lord wants. But it's not always easy to discern what the Lord's calling is for your life or even ministry. So, all right, we got a sack here now. Stuff all these busted cups in a sack. Keep the birds from making a giant mess of them. And I got to get a drink. I've got our water with me, but I haven't taken a moment to take a sip. I have no idea how long we've been streaming. It says here on my timer, it's an hour or 156 hours that we've been streaming, which is impossible. But it's at least been an hour, I think. Done my hot walk. Yeah, I'm sure it was a hot one this morning, David. It seems like the rain makes things better for a little bit, but then the humidity hits you later. Cleaning up after my naughty chickens. Whoop. I always forget where this pipe is here. There's a big hole. One day I'm gonna hurt myself on that bitch. I ought to take some spray paint and cover the landscaping fabric. Almost got most of it cleaned up, or at least a third of it. Haven't had any rain since Sunday. Ooh. That's been a while. It's Friday. We had some rain the last couple of days, I always just assume if we get rain, you're getting more. In theory, that's something I could get into. I actually get the Philippines funding in logistics of such projects. Yeah, so fully invested, I think, in all this here. I think the ministry has spent 500,000 or 600,000 pesos, so like 10 or 20K, which is impossible to have something this big, I think, in the States for 10 or 20. I could be wrong. I haven't actually gotten into looking what it would cost for a greenhouse. I think the small glass greenhouses are like 15K, but they are glass after all, not plastic. But yeah, the potential for profit here, if everything was perfectly set and running like a well-oiled machine, we ran the numbers, we should be able to make 60 to 50K per month. So 10 months ROI, which is impossible in about every business that you've ever heard of. Loaded chickens should be my dinner. Yeah. It should be mine too. Thanks for the like, whoever just liked. Ice water. A hot day. There's nothing better, but it also kind of gives you a shock, like, whoa, that's what cold tastes like. I got a bug crawling in my ear. Yeah, Jim, I feel like, and I guess, I'm sorry, when I said 10 months ROI, that's wrong. Because you got operating costs, which is about 50% of profit. So it's more like 18 months probably. It's not half of profit is running costs, but it does cost something to run it. But it's a lot faster ROI than chicken farming or anything else if everything works perfectly. But it doesn't work perfectly because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5 greenhouses since 2020 that have started and failed. So that just goes to show that things aren't nearly as simple as it looks like on paper. As a ministry, once you have documented proof of the concept, I think getting greater U.S. backing can be possible. Yeah, well, that's exactly what we're working on right now, proof of concept. Because everything looks good on paper, but to have real proof or evidence that it does actually do what the paper says it's going to do. Yeah, I think we could get lots of backing. Right now, I think my parents only got 12 churches maybe backing them. All in Pennsylvania and Florida, I believe. There might be some in other states that I'm not thinking of, but it's very minimal. Tight group. Just people that are affiliated with our church the same. Not all of them, I guess. Not all of them are the same. We used to be called Brethrens. Now it's called Charis Fellowship. And I'm sure we've got a couple that aren't in the Charis Fellowship, but I think a majority of them are. What time is it? 10 o'clock. This is not what I had planned for my day. I had planned to clean up my house, but then sounds like, from what my dad said, my brothers are not staying at my house. And if they are, it's going to be quite the surprise because my house is a complete wreck. Wasn't there yesterday. Didn't do a good job cleaning up the day before. Then got about a month's worth of things that I'm like, oh, I'll just do that tomorrow. Procrastination. It's what I'm best at. When I was in Afghanistan and Iraq, I was able to coordinate church support for humanitarian support for children. So the military didn't see any problem with you doing things that weren't military. I would have thought they would have been like, if it's not an order, you don't do it. But maybe you were part of the chaplain part a little bit. Ugh. But yeah, David, if you're still in here, earlier in the stream, I got started up and we had 30 plus people in the room for a minute. I'd love to figure out how to get 30 people to stay in the room for an hour. I think my best live stream was like 17 hours. I think it was a 3-hour stream, so it wasn't that great. But I cannot complain. Or I can complain. I should not complain. I was thinking we were going to be monetized by now. But I've consistently set goals for the channel that I have not been able to achieve. But it's not going to stop me from setting goals that seem like they're impossible. That's the one guy I streamed with, Randy. He said he met the requirements to be monetized in 60 days. He had a couple good long-form videos. I've had quite a few good long-form videos, I thought, but apparently my editing is lacking. They had separate support units for that. I used my contacts aside from the project to increase the units of effectiveness. Jim, you're like quite the guy. You got your pantry or food ministry, doing things even when you're in the military to better the people around you. Just an all-around great guy. So I feel like I'm asked this question before, Jim, but I cannot recall what the situation is. When were you married? Or because you have great grandkids, so. Or did you not get married? You just had someone you were with? Beanie Babies. Yeah, that was early 2000s for sure. Beanie Babies. I was too young for the Beanie Baby thing, or maybe I wasn't too young for it as much as I was. My mom was really strict about us using our imagination instead of. I mean, we had a whole chest of toys, but there was. I don't know. I guess maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure why. Never had any Beanie Babies. Most of the toys we had in our chest were car-oriented. So that was what my older siblings were into, and it became what the younger siblings were into as well, because that was what we had to play with. I'm not sure if this sack is going to be able to hold all of the wet cocoa peat, because it gets a lot heavier when it's wet. And the sack is a little bit dried. Married young, had children, got divorced at the end of my career, turned full-time ministry shortly after my retirement. Got married to a military girl, or a girl from back where you grew up? As a guy in full-time ministry now, what are your thoughts on divorce? My dad had a kid with a girl and then got married because that was the right thing to do when he was young, and then met my mom later on and wound up having 8 boys and a girl with my mom. And obviously he's still with my mom till this day. Everyone always just assumes that my mom is Filipina because here in the Philippines, but she's not. Yeah, the sack is probably not going to handle all of the weight of all the cup, or all the cocoa peat. It's getting pretty heavy already. I feel like God does not like divorce, but if you get divorced when God's not part of your life, then, or not your focus, then, or even get married when God's not part of your purpose, that it can be the way that God leads you to his big plan for your life. But I don't know. I hope I never get divorced, but I understand that if certain things happen, infidelity, lots of other things, I guess. As long as you both found your way back to God, I think there's a way that God could be in it. That was what happened with my dad and his first wife. Now she's married to a minister, doing missions with him. My dad got married to my mom and was able to do ministry with her. And neither my dad or his first wife would ever have been able to do ministry together because they just weren't living that kind of a Christ-centered relationship. No divorce in the Philippines, yeah. There it is. But I understand what you're saying. It's not exactly easy or commonplace. I'm going to try to squeeze some of this water out. Make this sack a little bit easier to carry. Although that is valuable water, because it is nutrient water. A civilian girl in the area of my first base. Divorce wasn't my plan, but it takes two. I'm sure I was outside of God's perfect plan, but He always had a backup plan for us after we messed up. Alright, that's an interesting perspective. So, I'm not trying to cause any sort of disagreement or debate, but you think that we have free will to go out of God's perfect plan, but He has backup plans. That would be an interesting perspective for my life, because I was with JN before I went to Great Commission Bible Institute, and then went to GCBI and decided that ministry in the Philippines wasn't for me, and then went and did my own thing for multiple years, and then came back to, I guess what you could say God's perfect plan was. So for me, I see it as He's going to get you where He's going to get you, the ways that He'll get you there. But, I'm a very young guy that hasn't had a lot of experience in life. I've had a lot of experience in life. I haven't had I wouldn't call myself by any means a smart or wise person. But yeah, the way I see it is that there's a song that I'm trying to think of the lyrics that explains what I'm thinking. But I can't remember the lyrics or the name of the song. I think it's Rascal Flatts. Is the song I'm thinking of. But I can't remember the lyrics now. Because of Jesus, we can wipe the slate clean and have a fresh start. That's again something that so before Jesus died for our sins, there was no way to wipe the slate clean? Or you feel like because we're not part of the tribe of Judah, that wasn't possible for Gentiles to do sacrifice? Like I said, I'm a very young, confused guy. So feel free to teach me, Jim. Because I feel like that's what the whole purpose of sacrifice was. It was just that God's sacrifice of his son, or himself, was the ultimate sacrifice. That sacrifice of animals was no longer needed. But I feel like before Christ, sacrifice of an animal was the way to wipe the slate clean. Alright, we got a bunch of mint plants that I don't want to put into that sack, but we got just a couple more of these lettuce mess ups. Then we got to figure out a good way. It's probably impossible to, without some real brainstorming, to get all these pipes dry and get that nutrient water back in the system. Because there's still plenty of water in these pipes. I mean, I think the only real solution would be get all the guys over here before lunch break and just pick up the pipes and maybe put a piece of pipe like this underneath the pipes and just move the pipe down slowly to push the pipes upward and work the water down towards the drains. Because like you can't just pick up that end of the pipe real high and push it down the drain. I don't think that'll work because you wind up busting all the joints in the pipes. See, lots of people that do this hydroponics they put the pipes this way so that you have one pipe facing this way instead of all facing this way. And then it's real easy to drain the pipes because it's just one piece of pipe, 8 feet long. But because these are multiple feet long, you got a lot of lifting to do. Believe myself, I'm hearing this running, driving me absolutely crazy in my bladder. But I couldn't do that with the camera and mic on. Well, it's looking like we're gonna have that full cocoa peat. We'll have to figure out a way to mark it so that we don't wind up reusing it. As you can see, there's a little bit of green tinge to the cups, which means there's going to be negative bacteria growing inside the cocoa peat that we don't want to put back into the system or into brand new fresh lettuce. It'd be a lot better if we could just use that in the garden somewhere. There's another unaffected cup. I don't know why the chickens didn't like that one. All right. Well, the rest of the that are here all have a little bit of mint pieces in them. I don't want to put that in the cocoa peat. That we're going to be putting on the garden. Sit on this, see if we can't get some of this water pushed out. I'll have to get a lot out, but this is a little bit more compacted. And I think the best thing I'm going to do to mark this is just go put it down here, out of the way. This would make for perfect bag. If you're going to do like those plastic bags for words are not coming out of my mouth. Like if you're gonna do tomatoes or anything that you can put in those black plastic pot bags or whatever, they are that soil would be great for that. And again, they didn't really mess with the mint cups at all, interestingly enough. And all this mint didn't make it because I wound up turning the bed off and then wound up forgetting to pull all the mint out. I did get some of it salvaged over there. I got enough mint to propagate and do a whole bed of mint if you wanted to. They did mess with this mint cup. Hey, 4 people watching, awesome. Hit the thumbs up if you didn't already. We're 2 hours into the stream, I think. My current situation is pray for a continuation of the big decisions to avoid working outside of God's plan for me. This one looks like it might just make it yet. These dried mint leaves actually make some of the best tea. These might be a little bit too dried, and it's better to dry them off the plant, I believe. But you stick your head in the bag, it still smells like mint, even though they're all dried and dead. Confirmation. I think I said continuation. Confirmation, yeah. Yeah, every day I'm praying for God to show His will. Another plant that looks like it's probably going to make it. There's another one in here. Not entirely dead yet. I don't know. I have never had much success when they get that dry, but there's a good chance if you soak them in water that they could come back. Mint is some of the most resilient plants that I've ever encountered. We got this one here. It looks like all the roots are pretty much destroyed on that, but I wouldn't be surprised one bit you toss that in water and it would do something. We're gonna go throw this in our area where we throw all of our dead plants. And I'm going to pour some water on it later just to see if I come back tomorrow how much starts out of it. Just because I'm curious. For example, I consider my current church and food ministry as a duty assignment. Can't transfer without God's permission. Well, you had said about you'd be open to it if there's someone that came forward to take over your position. Is that how you see God's permission being given? Is someone coming by is interested and wants to learn? I feel like you said you're granddaughter did it with you for 14 years or whatever. Hey, there's more plants that are still alive in there. Like I said, we're going to throw some water on these. See what we can't do. See if we can't get something to happen with them. But I'm not going to throw them in the hydroponics, because it would take a lot of water, I think, to bring them back to life. Bring them all back to life. But if we can get anything to show some life, we'll pull it out and put it back in the hydro. But yeah, if God provided you a replacement, do you feel like you'd be willing to step away? But yeah, it would have felt like your daughter, or granddaughter, I'm sorry, would have been an interesting replacement. But I'm sure now that she's just had her firstborn, that she's not in the position to take over your position anytime soon. Well, my brother is getting in less than an hour from the States with his classmates from Great Commission Bible Institute, Florida. I'm sure they're going to be exhausted from their travels, but we might have to get them to join a stream here in the next day or two. I'm not sure what the game plan is for the weekend. Or what I know my wife's excited to meet my brother's girlfriend, because we're all pretty sure that she's not going to be his girlfriend for very long. He went to GCBI with her, and they've been interested in each other for 3+ years. Now, since they're 18-year-olds, they just accomplished ministry training. They'll probably start a ministry together and then start a life together if everything goes right. It seems to be going right. So my wife is very excited to meet this new maybe sister-in-law. I believe God will provide a definite answer. I consider a lack of answer to prayer, meaning no or wait. As I prayerfully considered coming back to the Philippines for just a very short time before I went ahead and did it, and then went back to the States for my brother's wedding 6 months later, and then prayerfully considered my return. And just kind of felt like everything, all the stars aligned. I had Jane in my life again. She was getting ready to graduate college and pursue a relationship with me. And I said, God, I'm going to give it a shot. And I got here and then had a near-death experience with a motorcycle accident. A couple months later, after coming back, like just 2 months later maybe. And then was like, yeah, we got to kick this stuff in the high gear. I could have died today. I need to get a wife and kid and start ministry of my own. So yeah, I was definitely felt like God was in all of it. Or maybe it was just me doing my own thing, but I think God's making of it something of it, even though I didn't. I mean, since January of 23 or 24, I can't remember. I've been kind of taking this relationship with God a lot more seriously than I had for the last 5 years before that. Because life was full of just me doing really well, getting it to a position where I thought that where I was going to be happy and successful, and then God always having to change the plans. Well, that looks great, and it looks sad. I wish we could have harvested the lettuce out of that. But at least it's now all cleared up a little bit. I think my strategy is only possible for draining these pipes with about 2 more people. And they're washing the pipes now. And I'm not sure what's taking them so long. I mean, there was a couple hundred. They're there somewhere along the river in the distance. Oh, I can see the pipes there. See that white pipe? Who's calling me? Ano? Papa? He's in the house? Okay. Hopefully this is good news, not bad news. Yeah, there was someone that once told me that you got one mouth and you have 2 ears. That means you should talk half as much as you listen. So, I don't know if that's good advice. I feel like it is. Maista? Ano klase?
Lapis.
Lapis? What about that? Chicken? It's patay?
No, this one.
It's buhaya?
This one, going to eating.
Yeah.
Eating.
Walang tayo? Tindog?
Inhumit ko lang ilan, umuwi ito. The problem is this one.
Inside? Not the siki?
This one, yan.
Yeah.
Maybe,
No cut, yeah.
ng sa bilog yun. Ng sa may tangkod yan, tawagan ng short. This one short. This one. No eating.
Word Island Reds are doing pretty good. I think we could afford to feed them more, but it's hard to convince Papa.
Did your house may sauce? This one?
Oh,
So this one?
it's very big.
No problem, minimum.
Sige. Ha? No, it's buhay.
Init.
Oo. I'll put inside my bag.
Init
that
yan.
I will
Plastic
not
carry one. What plastic to?
The house na lang dyan, Amaya.
My klase, si GN. Doon na. Tapos,
Ano ba yung plastic?
Init mo.
Hi, Levi. So many water.
Mm-mm.
Levi, the fish to bite.
The fish?
Yeah, the fish.
Sayang.
Three fish.
Here, oh, Papa.
Levi, three fish eat. Okay.
Ayan? Okay?
Yeah. Sige. Salamat.
May sili tapos
Ano? Tuyo.
tuyo. Nice to fish yan.
Mm-mm. You're using the net in the ocean or bakal?
Yan, no, bakal.
No bakal.
No. Nagladyanan nito, ano, bye-bye.
Yeah.
Tawag, baklad.
Mm-mm.
Sige.
Sige, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Got a fish in the leaf, a big one. I don't know why, Papa. You can never convince him. Ana?
This is for, ano, lettuce.
Ah, sige.
Finish na, finish.
Sige, thank you. Yeah, Dad said about marketing lettuce earlier, but it seems like Papa and the family doing all the marketing I need to do. I mean, it is Friday, so Friday evening we can go in this evening and deliver lettuce to our vendor, because tomorrow's the big day for selling vegetables is always Saturday. Two years, 1 mouth. Where's my backpack? Gonna put this fish in so I don't get any critters come and munch on my lunch. Wow. It's getting hotter by the second. Way too much lunch for me. I know probably it's just trying to be generous. I guess we'll be lunch and dinner maybe. I think we'll have to go by the school and show JN maybe. Maybe eat lunch there and share it with everybody. Alright. I'm gonna try working on these beds. Jim, Stone Cold, whoever else is watching. Thank you all. We'll go through and do our shout outs before we turn off the live. Jim, Stone Cold, David, Colonel, Mai, Noah, Irish Cream, Willie, David, Herrera. God bless you all. I'll see you in the evening, afternoon, next morning, whenever you guys have the time. Thank you all for your time. God bless you all. Thanks, Jim. You too. Have a good night.